Okay, in this lecture we're going to be talking about how to work with worksheets and workbooks. I'm going to explain to you what the difference is between a workbook and a worksheet, and then I'm going to show you how to manage your sheets, copy, rename, add, delete, and change the color of your tabs for your sheets. So what's the difference between a workbook and a worksheet? This can get confusing sometimes when you're first starting with Excel, so let me give you an easy way to remember it. A worksheet is a single Excel spreadsheet, just like this. And each worksheet is defined by a tab down at the bottom here. And you can click back and forth between these to go from worksheet to worksheet. Now both of these worksheets are contained within a workbook. If you think of a paperback book that you would get from the library, each page is a sheet of paper. And all of the sheets of paper are combined into one book. And it's the same with an Excel document. All of the worksheets are individual sheets that are combined into a complete workbook. And another really easy way to remember this is when you click on one of these tabs, they're called sheets. And when you look at the default file name for your Excel workbook, they call it Book 1. So that's an easy way to remember the difference between a workbook and a worksheet. Now let me show you how to kind of manage and navigate through your worksheets. Whenever you open a brand new workbook, it will start with just one sheet like this. We click on this to get a blank workbook, and you'll notice it just has one sheet. If you want to add a new sheet, you hover over the plus sign and you left click it, and it'll create a new sheet. To create a third sheet, you do the same thing. So now we have 3 sheets, and we can click between these 3. So let's just put some text in here so you can tell the difference. We'll just type some days of the week in here. So we can click to sheet 1, sheet 2, or sheet 3 and work with completely different sheets within the same workbook. We can also delete sheets. And keep in mind that when you delete a sheet, you can't undo it. To delete a sheet, you right click on it, go to delete, and then you have to confirm that you want to delete it, and the sheet will disappear. You can also copy a sheet by left clicking on it and dragging it over to the right, and you'll notice this little arrow moves. And if I click the control button, you'll notice a little plus sign appears on my little sheet icon. And then I release the mouse and it makes a copy of sheet 2. So now I have sheet 2 version 2. So if I click back on sheet 1, you'll see it shows Sunday, sheet 2 shows Monday, and sheet 2 version 2 is an exact copy of sheet 2. Now I can rename this sheet. Now let's say if I wanted to call this one Monday afternoon, and I want to call sheet 2 Monday morning. So now I have Sunday, Monday morning, and Monday afternoon. Let's rename these sheets to match what the contents of the spreadsheet shows. So we're going to rename this one to Sunday. So I go up to rename, I type Sunday, and hit enter. So now the sheet name reflects what's going on in the spreadsheet. You can also double click on the sheet to rename it. So I'll call this one Monday morning. And I'll double click on this one, call it Monday afternoon. I can also color code these if I like. So I can right click on Sunday and change the tab color. Let's make Sunday a sunny yellow color. And you'll notice it doesn't really show up much while I'm clicked on this tab, but when I click to the next tab, then you'll see the color come through nice and strong. And I can go to Monday morning. I'll color this one a dark gray because Monday mornings are always a little rough. And then we'll go to Monday afternoon and we'll make this one kind of a dark blue. So now you can see I have the yellow, the black, and the dark blue. Let's say that I fill out this spreadsheet with a bunch of information. I'm just going to put in some numbers here, copy them down, and put some info here. So I already showed you how to copy this worksheet within this workbook, right? By pressing Control and dragging it to the next space, like that. And so now you can see I have a perfect copy of this. That's one way to do that. Let me delete that. I can also right click on it and go to move or copy. So I'm going to copy this to another spot in book 4, and I can select where I want it to appear. Let's say I want another copy of the Sunday sheet at the end. I select on that, I click create a copy, and I click OK. And you can see it's now taken this Sunday sheet and created a copy of it down here at the end. I'm going to delete that. I can also move it by either grabbing it and dragging it down to the end. And I'm going to drag it back, or I can right click and go move or copy and select move to end, and don't click on this button. Click OK, and it moves it down to the end. I'll move that back once again using my mouse. But you can also move this worksheet to an entirely different workbook. So we can go over here to book 2, and this has some data in it and a couple of sheets. But I want to take our Sunday sheet and put it over here. So I'm going to go back to book 4. I'm going to right click on Sunday, and I'm going to say move or copy. Of course, I have to click create a copy, and I click on this drop down, and now I can go to book 2, and let's just put this at the beginning. So we'll go before sheet 1, click OK, and now over in book 2 it's inserted Sunday in front of these other 2 sheets. So I have my original document there, but now Sunday has been added to it. And if I go back to book 4, because I made a copy of it, I still have my original copy here. So that's how you can copy and move different sheets within a workbook or between different workbooks. And on this same tab, you have a couple of other options, which I won't go into too much in depth, but you can go to Insert. This allows you to insert various things from a new worksheet to a chart to various other pre-formatted templates. You can also protect your worksheet. And you leave this clicked. You can either add a password that has to be entered in order to be able to edit or modify the worksheet. And then you can select the things that you want people to be able to do or not do. And we'll go into protecting worksheets in another lecture. But that's one way you can protect your worksheets. And then finally, you have options to hide or unhide these tabs. So if I want to keep this Sunday tab, but I want to hide it from view, I'll click on Hide, and you see it disappears. To bring it back, I have to hover over one of the existing tabs, right click it, and now it will give me the option of unhide. I can hide the existing tab that I'm on, or I can go to unhide, and it will bring up a list of hidden sheets. In this case, we only have the one, and it's selected, so we click OK, and it unhides that. So that's how you work with worksheets and workbooks. And remember, just like a traditional paperback book, all of the worksheets are contained within a workbook. So take a little bit of time to move, copy, rename, add colors to your tabs, and get comfortable working with your worksheets.